Hey everybody! Okay. Alright. Is there audio? Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Hey, am I being heard? Alright, you hear me? That's great. Play. Am I being heard? Oh, great. Yes. It's working. Breathing a sigh of relief. I can't believe it's taking me so long to figure this out tonight. I've been having technical difficulties, as always. See, because I'm moving from one place to another constantly. This is too low. I have a cold. And I know when I have allergies and when I have a cold. This time I have a cold. So, where is this? Oh, gross. This is such an awkward live stream. I'm gonna put this here. And, okay. No ads for this video. Very interesting. So, hey, thank you, Joe. Thanks for the blast yous. Thank you for the blast yous. And I'm going to share this video. I'm going to share this on YouTube, on Twitter. So, in case you're wondering why the title of this is I Drew My Mom's Face. Alright, here we are. We're live on YouTube. In case you're wondering about the title, not on purpose. Okay. All right. So we're shared, we're live, we share this on Twitter. And in case you're wondering about the title of this video, the title of this video is I Drew My Mom's Face. And you see my mom's face. That's my mom. That's how she looks. You want to see a bigger picture? That's how my mom looks. All right. And the reason why the name of this title is I Drew My Mom's Face is actually, the reason why that's what it is actually because I've been trying for the past like 2 hours to try and make this live stream work, but it wasn't working. So as a test, at some point I wrote I drew my mom's face, but it wasn't working. And then now that it's finally working, it doesn't let me change the title. So now we're stuck on I drew my mom's face. All right, that's the story behind it. And actually, I don't even remember what I was going to talk about before this happened. So now I think we're just going to talk about my mom's face. This is my mom's face that I drew. Okay? This is her face. And then this is what her face looks like. This is what she really looks like in her pictures. All right. Okay. This is this is what she really looks like. It's not showing up. Oh, no, no, I'll tell you why it's not showing up. This so whenever I need something, it's actually not going to show up. This is what she looks like. Okay, I guess we're just not going to see what she looks like. Ah, there she is. This is what she really looks like. There's my mom on the right, and on the left, there's what she really looks like. So I basically drew my mom, and that's it, really. That's just me telling you about my mom and what she looks like. Ta-da! Thank you for the compliment. Thanks for the compliment. All right. My mom is really young. I'm not actually advertising my mom because she's happily married. But I'm mostly advertising my drawing skills. And there they are. All right. And also, I think my mom's pretty. She's very pretty. She's very young. She had me when she was 17 years old. She doesn't like it when I tell people that, but that's true. She did have me when she was 17 years old, so she's really young. And she's a really cool mom. I'm the oldest in my family, and I've got a bunch of younger siblings, and my mom is gonna be so weirded out that there's a whole live stream about her. um, I've got a bunch of younger siblings, and yeah, just the usual stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna delete these. I'm gonna delete these photos, and we're gonna get down to business. Okay, so the past few days, you may have noticed my friend Lila was in town, my childhood friend, and she's my childhood friend since I was 10 years old. And the thing about childhood friends is that they're kind of like family. No matter what happens, they're always going to be around. You're always going to have them. Even if you don't talk to them in a really long time, you don't have anything to do with them. When you link up, it's as if nothing changed. You just continue where you left off. And it's really great. And so that's what I have with my friend Lila. Lila was in town for a couple days. She was visiting her sister who lives here. She was also visiting me. She was actually staying with me. And so she's an accountant. So we talked about being an accountant. She talked about accounting and tax stuff the first night that she was here. And then the second night, we talked about ultra-Orthodox dating. So Lila's still kind of in that dating system, kind of like a mix. And I was only doing that dating system until I left the religious community. So, yeah. So there were a lot of different thoughts about that. There were parts of it that we disagreed, and parts of it that we agreed. But anyways, someone is saying she looks so orthodox. I am the oldest. My mom is not. I don't know if my mom watches my live stream. I feel like if she did, she wouldn't tell me. I don't know if my mom watches my live streams. That's why I'm talking so freely about her. Like, I feel like that's why she doesn't tell me, because if she does tell me, then I wouldn't talk this freely about her. And that kind of scares me. It scares me to think that she might be watching these. Okay. All right. She is not my NA sponsor. I don't have an NA sponsor because I'm not part of NA because I'm not addicted to drugs. My mom is. It's Shabbat. My mom's not watching live stream now. And yeah, that's the story with my mom. So Lila was here a couple days, and I'm just moved to this new place because I'm constantly moving around because my life is unstable. And I really actually like this. I like this. As you can see, I'm sitting on my bed. I finally set up a bed. I have a bed now, which is crazy because I didn't have a bed this whole time. And I don't know if you can tell. I mean, you know, this is, I don't know, you can't really tell. You can't tell. But I finally set up a bed. And all right. It feels nice. It feels nice to have a place where I live and I don't feel like abandoned. And I wanted to just say a little bit about family. Um, with family, we always have problems. We always have like our issues with our families. And it's important to be able to talk about them without being shut down. Like, oh, well, you should be happy that you have a family. At least you have a family. You should go and appreciate. Like, okay, well, you should be able to also complain about things and whatever. It's fine if you have a problem with your family, and it's fine to not talk to them for however long you don't want to talk to them because of whatever issues you're having in your family. But there is really something very special about having family, especially like a big one. One second. Why can't I see my chat? Guys, I'm not normally this lame. I'm just really feeling sick right now. I'm just like always. Oliver says your mom looks like how someone would draw you as a caricature. All right. I'm feeling very sick. Joe says, how many siblings do you have? I officially have 4 younger siblings. Jesus says, my family is dysfunctional, but I got my Lord and Savior Jesus, I got Trump, and I got beer. That's all I need, and the love of good women. Nice. Thank you. Thanks for the nice wishes. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the kind wishes. And so anyway, yeah, yeah, with family, I complain about my family a lot. And the truth is, I do have complaints. My complaint is that, and this isn't anything that anybody can control. My family is so religious, so when I go back and visit them, it's hard for me to be part of anything because I have to be religious too. I have to, and it's not that my family doesn't know that I'm not religious. They actually know, and they're very loving and accepting of me. But it's hard because they're still part of a religious community, and they still have to be, they still go to shul, they still go to services at their synagogue. They still do things that are, religious things. And it's not like I can just go and be my irreligious self in front of all their friends. It would be embarrassing. And you can't. I mean, you can be irreligious. You can be It's really hard too. And so I have to like totally change my lifestyle whenever I'm back with my family, just because of the nature of being religious, not even having to do with them. And so that's why it's hard for me, and yeah, that's why it's hard for me to go back. And I haven't been back to LA, and I mean, yeah, it's I don't go. I don't normally go. So Jesus is asking if I would dress differently. Yes, I would have to dress differently. I would be dressing, doing everything differently. Pardes in Farsi, it's Pardes. It means paradise. And someone is asking, do all Persians have big old lips? I don't know. Guys, I hope I don't pass out like the other night. Actually, I won't. I don't know why I passed out that first night with Lila. That was so embarrassing. That was my first time ever passing out on this live stream. Yes. So, like most people, I've got complaints about going home. But there's also something to be said about just having family around, knowing that even if you don't ever talk to them, you don't have anything to do with them, you still have like a base, like kind of like an identity that they are there. They're like your home, even if you aren't with them physically or talking to them all the time. It's kind of like having sort of like a base. Everyone is very interested in the Persian stuff. Okay. So my dad is Persian. The whole family's Persian. Everybody's Persian. And extended family, Persian, but a lot also some of them have married out. TLH says you will feel fine once you start a family and are busy. All women your age have these feelings and uncertainties. It's your bio clock tapping on your subconscious. Nate wants Lila to come back. I will let her know. All right. So it turns out last night, since we were testing around a lot of words, it turns out that YouTube did have a problem with some of the words that were used. I don't get it because, like, really it wasn't such a big deal. People said penis, like, that's not a big deal. But anyway, I'm just gonna, if YouTube censors it, I'm just gonna leave it to be censored. So, yeah. Oliver says, I thought you were excited that your DNA showed pure Jewish blood. Is that really Persian? I don't know. If I took a test, I don't know what my DNA would say. Because I think the test that they have right now is for Ashkenazi Jews. Although, I mean, Persian Jews are Jewish, but I think the test that they have right now doesn't show Persian Jews. It shows, I don't know. I think it shows Ashkenazi Jews because I don't know how it works, to be honest. It's like a different like a gene that they find. Gosh. YouTube is really like third grade with the comment rules. Nate says some would argue that Spartans are the actual real Jews. So Pardes is pure Jewish. Yeah, I mean, my parents, their parents, great grandparents, everybody, they're Jewish. They're all Jewish. It's like purebred, except that I don't know if I would actually show up in a DNA test, but it is Jewish. Um, way back, way back Jews. Juice. Yeah. And it's funny because there's so much, there's, it's Jewish right now, I feel like in the media is such a hot topic. Oliver says, well, I don't think Sephardic Jews are less related to the tribe of Judah than Ashkenazis. I think they are both like a third of a Jew in the times of Jesus. Yeah. I'm actually interested in learning a little bit about what happened. Like, how did Jesus get a bunch of followers and what happened with his rabbi? And because I remember vaguely learning about it, but not really, and didn't go into detail. And I'm just curious. I know my brother learned about it. So you're asking about which tribe? My family's from the tribe of Levi. They're Levites. They're actually my family's. They're so Levites are divided between uh, just regular Levites and priests. So my family is actually priests, and their parents are priests, and their grandparents are priests. So there's actually a city in Iran called Shiraz. Okay, in Shiraz, the Jews of Shiraz are mostly priests. In fact, it's really hard to find Shirazi Jews that are not priests. By priest, I mean not actual priest, but from the tribe of the priests. That's what I mean by that. So the city that my parents are from, they were all, they were there from I don't know the Second Temple or whatever. They all like migrated there and they just stayed in that city and they just married each other for like years and years. They just stayed there and the priests married each other and whatever. And then that's how it happened. That's how they kept the tribe alive. And in synagogues, like whenever they pray, like I mean during prayers, whenever they always need a Levite and a priest uh, for part of the prayers, and so um, oftentimes you'll see like Shirazi Jews in the and Kohanim, yes. Cohen is like whenever you see someone with the last name Cohen, it's very likely that they're from that tribe. Bart says my family is from a tribe called Quest. What is Quest? Some of your comments are really trippy. Hey, Diacritical. What's up, what's up, what's up, Diacritical? Nate says, fun fact, a large portion of Latinos have Sephardic DNA, since most Sephardics were exiled from Spain during the Inquisition. Yeah, they call them the Marranos because Marrano means like pig, right? Because a bunch of Jews during the Inquisition like pretended to convert to Catholicism, even though like secretly they stayed Jews. But so people were like, oh, they call them the pigs because they weren't really, they were just pretending to be Catholic, but they were really Jewish. So a lot of people that are Latinos that actually ended up being staying Catholic or living that lifestyle do actually come from Jews who were pretending to be Catholic, whose kids probably ended up just being Catholic anyway, just because they were growing up in that society. So yeah, that's the story. That's the story of the. And I actually do have some Spanish blood, Spanish Jewish blood, like from people who left during the Inquisition. I just know about like a grandmother or something, like a great 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 grandmother. It's really interesting. Like I want to learn a little more about it. I just have always been too lazy and busy with other things, but I want to learn a little bit more about how it works and like, my background. I'm just too scared to take a DNA test because I hear all these like weird stories about how they like sell your DNA or I don't know, they sell your data. And I don't want anyone selling my data about my DNA. I want to keep it to myself. I don't need it that badly. I don't need to know like that badly who my cousins and great grandparents and whatever. Like, I know the people I know, and that's it. That's fine. Yeah. Uh, Oliver says, I'm confused. You had a video recently saying you did a DNA test and they came back pure, and your friend said you actually took a test a year ago. Now you're not saying that at all. I never took a DNA test. No, no, no. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know what Lila was. I don't know. I never took a DNA test. Like ever. I never took a DNA test. Nope. 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 I never took a DNA test. Maybe because I was singing the song, I just took a DNA test, turns out I'm 100%. Like that's a song. Probably I was making fun of it, but no, I didn't actually take a DNA test. All right. So yeah, people are really focused about genetics oftentimes, and I remember like when it comes to being Jewish, people are so focused on genetics. Like to me, it bothers me because Judaism to me is a religion. I know for a lot of people, Judaism is all about genetics, but to me, that just feels silly. It feels very silly for it to be all about genetics and like, your parents want you to marry a Jew. Oh, it doesn't matter that the person is like totally atheist and doesn't believe in anything and whatever. As long as he has the genes, as long as he's genetically Jewish. Like, it's just the dumbest, to me, it's the dumbest reason to marry somebody is because of their genetics or to not marry somebody because of their genetics. To me, it just seems dumb. And it's like, you want to say that certain people have superior genetics to others? Well, it's not true, especially in those cases. Uh, so yeah, Oliver, yes, I am very low energy tonight. I'm feeling sick, but tonight I'm feeling sick, but I still want to be here because this live stream makes me happy. So I still want to be doing this. And for the like 10 people who might watch this, that'll be fine. I'm kidding. There's probably more than 10. Hmm. Yeah, I don't like the whole genetics thing. I just think like if you're religious, then you're Jewish. If you're not religious, you shouldn't be like, what's the point? And also the other thing about it is that it just causes a lot of inbreeding. Like people just end up marrying in the same group the whole time. Never end up diversifying the gene pool. You never end up like I don't know, like everyone just starts looking the same and get like genetic diseases. I don't know. It's just stupid. Like it really actually bothers me, but whatever. Um, I guess in some way it adds like a family element to it, which might be a good thing. Because when there is a genetic element and it feels like family, then you end up being more kind of helping out other people. Um, Sorry, I just got distracted by some of your comments. Oliver says maybe there will be Judaics and Jews. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess the positive thing about it being genetics is that like the family element and people and that's what kind of keeps the religion going is that there's like this general people looking out for each other like family and more like invested in the religion because it's like a it's kind of like you know Nate says it doesn't work that way. A Jew is a Jew. If you deny being Jewish, you end up self-hating like Marx, Trotsky, and 95% of the BDS movement. Very self hating. Diacritical, thank you for the warm wishes. Someone is saying Khazar. I see that word a lot and I don't know what it is. Khazar? Um, yeah, I see that word a lot. I mean, yeah, I guess if it wasn't, I guess if it wasn't based on, background, then, well, it's not purely genetic because you can convert to Judaism. So it's not purely genetic. It's more like national. Being nationalistic is good. It's good for the future of your society. For everybody to be really, really devoted. I mean, that's why Jews are successful, in my opinion, because they're very devoted to the people. And if you want to become a convert, for instance, you'd have to jump through a lot of hoops. For like Christianity or Islam or whatever other religions, like not all of them, but a lot of religions will encourage you to convert, and they'll make it really easy for you to convert. But Judaism makes it very hard for you to convert, and they do it just because they want to know that you're going to be very dedicated. So, and it's good because then the people who end up converting are really dedicated, and you end up with people who are invested in being Jewish. So, and they do take pride in, and they don't usually, I mean, if you went through that hard of a conversion process, you're not likely to leave. And all right. Logo says Christian conversion used to be so much stricter. Yeah. Nate says it's easy to convert to conservative. Orthodox makes it hard, real hard. Yeah, I mean, Orthodox conversions are like hardcore. But I think that's good. I mean, for Judaism, you should really prove your allegiance to a religion before becoming religious. Fardy says, in Judaism, can you repent without the temple and sacrifices? Um, yeah, yeah, you can do that for sure. It's called praying. You can repent. There's actually, this month is the month of, I mean, this in 2 days, actually, technically in one day, we've got the Rosh Hashanah. It's gonna be Rosh Hashanah, and that's when it's like Day of Judgment, right? You won't, people clear of their sins. People are like, repenting for their sins. I mean, they don't do it on Rosh Hashanah, but they do it in the days after Rosh Hashanah, because it's like the time of year when everybody really focuses on repenting for their sins and atoning for their sins and asking everybody to forgive them for anything that they may have done that might hurt other people, to just really, really start with a clean slate. That's like a big thing about Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, is when you really hardcore repent for your sins. And then the idea is by the time third holiday of the season comes around, Sukkot, you have cleared of all your sins. That's the idea. Or you will have done everything you can do before judgment is sealed for the year. Okay. Nate says the Orthodox rabbi will reject you 3 times for conversion, but the third time he accepts because he realizes you are actually serious. That is true. TLH, I like that comment. TLH says, I think religions were original intelligence agencies. Why confession? Intel gathering. That's funny. That is really funny. Diacritical is in an area with a lot of Jews. He says the courthouse will be nearly empty for 10 days. Diacritical works in a courthouse. It's really cool, actually. I mean, he works in court. He does, I don't want to explain what diacritical does because then I will make it sound dumb. Because it would, but it's a really cool job. Oliver says, I think at one time conversion by baptism was for friends, but then a conversion with circumcision was for a real member. But, well, yeah, you have to be circumcised. If you're going to convert to Judaism, you have to be circumcised. You have to become circumcised. And, yeah, that scares a lot of people. But I don't think it, like, I remember when growing up, my family's pretty religious, and we had a lot of guests that weren't religious. My parents were, like, really into that. And so, we had a guest who came, he stayed at our house while he was getting circumcised. And he was basically on, he was actually pretty fine the next day. Like, he was, like, walking around and everything. And he was, like, an older dude. He was, like, I don't know, 40s or 50s. Ryan says my DNA test came back 90% American, 10% Russian bot. TLH says most Americans are already snipped. People talk about, like, banning circumcision. Like, what's his name? Andrew Yang. I don't know if he said ban circumcision, but I think he talked about it. And, like, it seems a little extreme. Let people do what they want to do. Let people chop off their penis if they want to. They're not chopping off their penis. They're just cutting off foreskin. But it's like you can't ban something that is, it's like literally like, it's like cutting your nails. I mean, there's whether or not you do it for a religious thing, like, there's no use for foreskin. If you cut off someone's foreskin, it's not like genital mutilation. It's not like you're cutting out their clitoris. It's like you're basically just, it's not anything. Um, Someone is asking 40, 50-year-olds getting circumcised. Yes, he was getting circumcised because he was converting to Judaism. So when you convert to Judaism, you have to get circumcised. And he was not circumcised. So that's why someone is saying, what about the sect of Judaism that the rabbi sucks a kid's dick? That is not a real thing. But like I hear about it all the time, but I've never heard of anyone actually doing that. Why would you suck a baby's dick? Um I hear about that all the time. Don't get me wrong. I've heard that. I don't know where the rumor originated. Nate says Jewish women can marry non-Jews since a child would be considered Jewish because the mother is considered the foundation. It's harder for a Jewish guy to marry a non-Jew. Alright. Well, no, you do need to draw blood. That's right. You do need to draw blood. There has to be blood. Usually the baby's crying. With older people, I mean, you don't really feel it because they put anesthetics. They do need to draw blood, and that's a real thing. I've been through so many. It's called the Brit Mila or Bris, depends if you're Ashkenaz or Sephardic. I've been at so many. I haven't gone to one in ages. Actually, I have like avoided any religious event in any way, even weddings, or just I've just avoided any events that might have religious thing to it, just because I've gone to so many growing up, and I'm just so burnt out, and I actually don't even can't even imagine myself ever going back. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys. Any other questions for me before I pass out again? Someone is saying, Jesus says, is Jewish food good or is that just a TV meme? Like kosher food? Oh, Jewish food? There's Jewish food, right? Matzo balls, and there's Persian Jewish food. I think it's Jewish. I don't know if it's Persian or Jewish, but it's a pretty good food. Um, Diacritical says the mole in some groups will clean orally. It's not common, but it happens. Worst thing here has actually been transmission of herpes. I've seen legal cases. Yikes. Oh my gosh. So it's real. It is real. It is real. Wow. Diacritical is living in New York. He actually sees a lot of court cases, and apparently, he's seen court cases with people who babies get herpes because the rabbis, I mean, in some circles, apparently, are, I don't know, they're like licking the foreskin or something. That's so creepy. I don't know. I honestly never, I mean, I grew up in an ultra Orthodox community, and people were very religious. We didn't have that, so maybe in New York, because I'm from LA, so our community was kind of mixed up a little bit. Nate says, imagine if you were Jewish Latina, you could have a bar mitzvah and a quinceanera. Have a bat mitzvah. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Nate says, believe it or not, there is a huge pedophile problem in the ultra Orthodox community. Oh, I believe it. I know a lot of people who it's crazy. It's like the most religious people also. It's just so ironic. There's just that's another reason why I left religion. It's like being religious, it leaves you it it, it makes a lot of people vulnerable. Vulnerable to predators. Um and I mean, it's hit or miss. Like either you're fine or you're not, but oftentimes you're not. Kids are vulnerable. Um, I have friends. I have multiple friends who come from very religious families. Their dads, in some cases, are rabbis, and they've had, I mean, creepy, creepy situations. And being more religious does not mean that you are going to be a better person. It just means that you have this higher standard for yourself and for the people around you, and you might break it or not. Chris says, have you ever encountered anti Semitism? Uh, I think it might be Sephardic and not Ashkenaz, and like people don't think I'm Jewish. Like everyone thinks I'm Hindu or like Muslim. So people don't think I'm Jewish, so they don't. I feel like I don't get it as much as because people only recognize like Ashkenazi Jewish names, like all the Bergs and the Steins, you know? So I think people only think of those people as Jewish and they direct whatever thing, problems they have towards those people. But I don't get it as much. Yeah, I don't normally get that. Uh, yeah. Logo says I thought Pardes was Iranian. Yeah, my family is Iranian and Jewish. There are some Jews in Iran. My family wasn't really religious in Iran, my parents, but they're like traditional. I don't know. There are Jews in Iran. There's only very very few. I mean, after the Islamic Revolution, most Jews left. Only like a tiny tiny population stayed. Very tiny. Like a very small group of people. Everybody else left because before the revolution there were more different religions there, as far as I know. Yeah, Logo says a lot of people don't a lot of people don't think I'm Jewish. Diacritical says I thought Iranian when I first saw you, but then name said Jewish. Yeah, the name is, I mean, it's Paradis in Farsi, but when you say Pardes, that's a Hebrew word also. So my parents growing up called me Paradis, and then I went to school, like Jewish day school, and then everyone called me Pardes, and then that stuck with me. Um, Nate says, fun fact, there is only one Jew in Afghanistan. What? That's crazy. Well, maybe I should go to Afghanistan. There'll be two Jews. I actually thought about going to Afghanistan. That's like one country where I could probably communicate with people pretty well. I mean, I could. I know that I could. I could communicate with Afghanis. So, yeah, I'll go to Afghanistan. I thought about it. All right. Okay, any other questions before I pass out? And this beautiful Friday night where everyone's going and partying, but I'm sick. All right. All right, right, right. Any questions? Any other questions? Questions, comments, concerns? Diacritical. Have a great evening. Have a great evening, everybody. All right, Lila Tove. Good night. No more staying, Nate. You make me so like happy. Okay, good night, good night, good night, good night. Ending the stream. Just have to figure out how to end it. I actually don't know how to end it. Alright, it's ending.